No more Mark Carney. That is the theme of the nationwide protest that's occurred today, January 31st. I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News, and I'm bringing you coverage on the Vancouver location. Today's demonstration is put on by Stand United Canada, but interestingly enough, there is no physical organizer here. I'm at the south side of the Vancouver Art Gallery, and approximately 150 people showed up just organically from hearing that something was happening, and the VPD were also here ready to go. So an impromptu march happened. You're going to see some of the coverage and my questions to them. In particular, since they're saying no more Liberal government, I wanted to ask them, why on earth do you think Canada keeps voting them into power? Also, we just saw Pierre Poilievre win the leadership race. Will that be enough in the next election to save Canada, according to them? And who could forget the words of Prime Minister Mark Carney on the world stage, his speech at the WEF?
And we really have two choices as a jurisdiction, as a country in this circumstance. We can nostalgically look back and long for the old order to somehow return, or we can build a new one with purpose and partnership.
We are taking the sign out of the window. We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just. This is the task of the middle powers.
And, of course, him telling China this.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Here we have freedom, and that freedom creates responsibility.
Yep.
I'm here because I want a Canada that protects civic responsibility as a nation. So let's stay unified, because we want this country to be worth passing on to our future generations.
All right, this is Shar. Now, I saw you up there. You did a little speech that was resonating with a lot of people. Why was it important to do that?
It's important because as a Canadian, we are living in this country and it's our responsibility to speak up. We see our social civic cohesion deteriorating, and there's a lot of problems that many, many Canadians share. And we have the wisdom. Canada is a highly intelligent nation. We have the most university degrees in the world. But without wisdom without courage is not enough. We need to stand up and take action so that we can have real change.
Why was it important to come out today?
I think it's a show of attitude for what people have tolerated for the past 10 years.
Just to get out and support Canadians, make sure everybody knows what's going on, and to be physically active in making a better Canada.
Well, we came out from the Fraser Valley, and we think that Canada is worth fighting for, and it's turning communism, it looks like, and Carney's pushing it over the cliff.
Mark Carney is putting it so that the average family can't live on a budget. When your grandparents raising a grandchild, things are expensive. What I used to pay $10 for is now costing me $14. And, his really bad comments that he has made over the time about, the ostriches farm, for an example, the beluga whales, the cost of groceries, his who cares comments, new world order comments. I don't like the way Canada's going, and it's becoming a scary place to live.
Well, you know what? We're Canadian, and this is Stand United Canada that put this event on. And really, it was against Mark Carney. And when we look at the things that Mark Carney is doing in Canada, it is important that Canadians rise up and speak out and push back against what the Liberals have done to our country. I've personally faced some trials.
I want to share, tell every Canadian people, be careful. Don't trust CCP because it's very dangerous. They will take Canada.
I'm concerned about Carney taking away our guns. By March, a lot of us are going to be criminals if we don't comply, and I'm totally against that. And if we comply, we're going to have Bondi Beach all over again here. The lady spoke earlier about how there's no violence at these rallies, and I had to think, well, there's no violence yet. We're safe right now, but I think we're not safe if we let Carney take away our guns.
What nationality is Mark Carney?
American. Good question.
China. British. What else? Irish. And Canadian. What's his loyalty?
China.
We don't know.
China.
We don't know his loyalty. We don't know where his loyalties are, and to question that, and his actions do not reflect what a real Canadian Prime Minister should what they should be.
What do you think it is about the Liberals, Mark Carney, Trudeau? Why did Canadians vote them in a fourth time?
So we saw that there was a lot of sentiment about conservative values just before the election happened, before people put their votes in. But then geopolitics changed, and people say when Trump made that tweet, people got afraid and questioning instability. But maybe also homeowners are happy to have the cost of the homes high, and seniors potentially worry about instability if we don't have confidence in a leader who can stand up against our neighboring countries. But if U.S. wants to make us the 51st state, it's strong enough that it can do that in 2 days. So I don't think we're going anywhere, but we really need to not be afraid and have open debate and question before we vote.
I don't think the Canadian will vote for Liberals again because, in my opinion, the last election was rigged. Yeah, you can see a lot of weird things went on about the last election, and the reason why I am standing right here today is because I'm standing for what is right and what's wrong. It's not a political problem for me. It's about what's wrong and what's right.
Well, I think it's propaganda because when I talk to people, friends who are on that side of things, they all just use the CBC talking points. And I can tell usually within a few sentences that they're just getting all the information from mainstream TV.
Maybe they didn't vote as much for them as they thought because I think WEF probably helped Carney get in.
Think so?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's my age group too. It's the boomers that are voting them in. The younger people get it. The younger people understand what's going on. I think what's happened is over the last 10 years, people have become reliant on the government of Canada, and that's very purposeful by the government. And so they're afraid to let go. And we're taxed to the hilt, and we need government services. But really, we need less government, less taxes, put the money back into our pockets, and let us make the decision on where we put our money.
I think a lot of that is immigration, due to the fact that they're allowing them in. B, I think it's a lot of people from back east because they have, to be honest, BC, Saskatchewan, and Alberta are paying for Nova Scotia and Newfoundland's funding. If it wasn't for these provinces, they'd have nothing to go on. So they vote Liberal for that reason. And a lot of old people still, the old people watch CBC, sorry. And it's just ridiculous.
I think Canada's too far gone. We saw the leadership race with the Conservatives. Is that going to be enough to get us out of this trouble?
I think I'm very optimistic. I truly believe in the goodness of people and that truth will come to the surface. People can find the truth if they're really seeking it. But it does look pretty dire, especially when you talk to the average person who seems to be oblivious to what this is all about.
Well, it's not a perfect answer, but it'll put Canada back on track.
You know what? If we put a stop to Mark Carney now and get disappear in, I think we have a fighting chance. 3.5 more years of Mark Carney, we're dead in the water. So we need somebody to step up and do the right thing now.
Now, did you hear Mark Carney's speech at the WEF and his claim that working with China is good for the New World Order? What did those things mean to you?
So I didn't listen to the whole speech. There was no need, but I saw a lot of coverage on it on Rebel News and Moose on the Loose and other independent news organizations. And my question to that, or my statement on that, would be, okay, we've gone to China, we've gone to Qatar. What's next? North Korea? Syria? We should be negotiating with our best partner, and that is the United States of America. And we have a long relationship with them. 75% of our exports go to the U.S. We need to solve that one first. That should be his number one priority. And then he can go to other countries around the world and build relationships.
Well, being a Christian, I see biblical prophecy unfolding, and everything that is happening in our world, and including in our country, is happening for a purpose. It's on a timeline that even though we stand up, speak out, and push back, God is in control. And as much as we're here today to stand up, I stand in peace and acknowledge that I am not in control, but I am also not to sit on my hands and do nothing. I am occupying until that great and glorious day, and not living in fear and torment, because that is what the government and what the enemy of our soul would like us to live in, and it's just not going to happen here.
Amen. And what did Mark Carney saying working with China will help for the New World Order mean to you?
Well, he's making an enemy of our greatest neighbors. We love Americans, and we don't want to make enemies of them at all. We've been friends for forever, and I don't want that to change.
Well, there you have it. This crowd, if anyway, has spoken. Apparently, there were demonstrations that took place in Victoria, British Columbia, some in the Okanagan area, and of course, back east in Alberta. You can check out our coverage from the field and also support our journalism at rebelfieldreports.com. If you appreciate that Rebel News gets our boots on the ground to bring you reports like this, please consider making that possible by donating what you can at rebelfieldreports.com.